Hello again, interwebs. 'Tis still I, Sebastian Macioni. This is still not Famous Faces and Funnies or Get Your Fun On, and I'm gonna try and be quick because I just spent 20-something minutes reviewing the free comic book day comics. So let's jump right in. Convergence number 4 is okay. I have to pause. This is gonna be most of the time of this show, is this review. I have to imagine a large plate covered with beautiful black feathered birds that have been cooked to perfection. Because I'm about to eat some crow. Scott Lobdell. I'm so sorry. I have not been your biggest fan since the launch of the New 52. I loved you back in your heyday in the 90s, but I just felt you were falling short. And while I'm standing by those, the Superboy stuff was just, it hurt me, it did. But, like a lover who realizes that he's partially to blame, I'm gonna overlook the hurt, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna take you in my arms, and I'm gonna gaze lovingly into your eyes and say, it's okay that you didn't bring your A game to some of your other stuff because you were saving it. You were saving it for when it was needed most. Because Scott Lobdell, this Convergence Blue Beetle was so much better than I dared to expect, dared to hope, or even would have dared to hope had anyone else's name been attached. This was phenomenal. My God, there's a giant painting of Bender staring at me like this that I'd never noticed before in this wall. Who knew? But anywho, this was great. This was the Charlton versions of the characters. So you've got them all right there. You've got The Question, you've got Silver Arm Captain Adam, and Ted Kord. Look, this artist. First, let me also throw out a great kudos. It says Lee is the last name. Let me find that first name. Yushan Lee's. It's like painted Ditko. It's like Ditko and Steve Lytle had a baby. I don't know how it's gorgeous and so fitting. It's not just, look, I'm doing my Ditko impersonation, but the Ditko touch is there, and yet it's their own thing, but you can still see what's there. So that was great because all of these are classic Ditko characters. That version of the bug is the old Ditko style version of the high-flying bug. That was amazing. But Scott Lobdell hit these characterizations. I mean, they weren't entirely the way we've left them back at Charlton Comics. There was some heavy, what was that thing that they just did, the multiversity one, what did they call that? Something Arcana, Pax Arcana. Some heavy influence from that, and you could see very clearly that now it's like art imitates life, imitates art, imitates life. You could feel a lot of how these characters were affected by the characters who were based on them, or inspired by them at the very least. The Watchmen version, not that these are super dark and gritty, but there's that touch there of a little heavier than Charlton was known for. But it was such a blending, such a beautifully balanced blending of all of these incarnations. You even get a brief moment of Booster, though Beetle misses it entirely. It was so good. So good. And yeah, Scott Lobdell just nailed this and just wrote a great book. I was just pulling through it, I liked it better than Booster Gold, and Dan Jurgens wrote Booster Gold, and he's the Booster Gold daddy. So Scott Lobdell. I love it, man. I'm so sorry for all the hurt that I caused. It was so good. Convergence Booster Gold. I had some weird moment because this Booster Gold has a slightly different origin than original Booster Gold, although both boosters are there and they get to compare notes on their origins. And while part of me, the fanboy part of me, the diehard Blue Blue Beetle Booster Gold fanboy part of me that wants my blue and gold to be the way they're supposed to be, wanted to rail against, no, that's not his origin, stupid New 52. This is a rare exception within the New 52. This is something we haven't seen. Dan Jurgens is writing this. Dan Jurgens is recreating the character he created in the first place. None of these other characters are written by the person who created them. This is his baby. So who the fuck am I to say, you can't change it? No, you can. No one on this earth is more qualified to change anything on Booster Gold than Dan Jurgens. And this issue was so good. We had classic. The only thing that was missing was both boosters are in New 52 booster suits. And I really wanted that. I really wanted the real. That's the only problem I have. Give Booster a suit that doesn't look like he bought it at like Jack Kirby clearance sale. Okay, and I'll be so happy. Lots of time travelers, really good stuff. Both of these were amazing. Also, both of these feature versions of the Legion of Superheroes. This one's got the. That was what's great. Look, they chose two of my favorite things. You've got original Blue Beetle and the 31st Century Metropolis, meaning Legions of Superheroes from the book Legionnaires, the younger versions when they found that there were clones and whatever. And they were some of my favorites. So good. Convergence Infinity Inc. #1 by, who did this? I made this. Shut up, it's not the X-Files. It doesn't want to tell me, and I'm never going to find it in time. I was always intrigued by, but didn't read a lot of the Infinity Inc. stuff. I remember reading some of it as a kid, like off the shelves and stuff. And so I was really looking forward to this. Best part of this, I'll say, Jerry Ordway just writes a great story. It was a lot of fun to read. And this art side, it's so weird to have a story written by Jerry Ordway and not only drawn by someone else, but by Ben Caldwell has so nothing like an Ordway style. But Ben Caldwell, one of the other books that I really liked, one of the image books. But regardless, the book is gorgeous, the story is great, this was good. This was one I was looking forward to that I didn't expect to look forward to. Shazam is not often a character I give a shit about. But this is by Jeff Parker and Evan Dogshaner. Evan Dogshaner and Jeff Parker did my all-time favorite run of Dynamite's Flash Gordon. They're together again on this. I was like, what? So freaking amazing. This was beautiful, well-written, everything. Look at that little wink of, it's so great, so great. Batman #40, the end of an era, because post-convergence we get the whole new Batman that I reviewed in the free comic book day stuff, so if you want to check that out, go check that out. This was a heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, edge-of-your-seat sitting roller coaster of a thriller movie ride that ends has the impact of young, 8 or 9-year-old me sitting at the edge of my seat watching Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back in theaters back when it originally came out. And it ends with, okay, they're gonna go save Han. What? You can't end it there. You can't end it there, but they did. But oh my God, and Greg Capullo's art. There is a panel in here that I hoped I'd be able to find, and hopefully I still will, so I can have Magic Hands show it to you. There's a panel in here where he just draws, and it's beautiful. Boom, there it is. Magic Hands, if you could show them this panel of the Bat. You can see Greg Capullo has gotten to this level where look how great that Batman looks. You look at that and you see Greg Capullo's entire run. You look at that and you see Frank Miller. You see Jim Lee. You see Mazzucchelli. You see, all right, I admit I'd be lying if I said you see Neil Adams, but there's a whole chunk of classic Bat artists right there, and it's perfect. It's just something about the way the shadow around the eyes makes the eyes, gives this depth they're in. I don't know what this may be, but one of my favorite panels in comic book history, right there. T-shirt, I don't know, what do you call them? Graffiti design. make that happen. Gorgeous. Superman number 40. Again, end of an era, beginning of the new cycle. We've got Superman experimenting with his new power, possibly being... They confuse me. It seems like he will eventually get his powers back to full, but at one point he makes it sound like he's never going to be able to fly again. He can only jump. At another point, he goes off to fly, plummets, and goes, forgot, too soon, limited to jumping, which makes it sound like he'll get the flight back. I don't know if Superman can fly now or if he can only jump. I'm not too happy with that. I am on board with the, the John Romita artwork. I really like John Romita artwork. He wrote this, so his writing mostly solid. Like I said, couple parts were a little confusing, but what is. Justice League 40. This sets up everything that's going to happen later with, there's like a whole slew of artists on here, including, it starts with Kevin Maguire. So here's my whole review. It starts with Kevin Maguire. This is really good. This is going to kick off the Darkseid Anti-Monitor war. We find out the Anti-Monitor's name. We find out his connection to Metron, the chair-riding, knowledge-hoarding new god. And we also find out that, when the new 52 comes back, post-convergence, sure, there can be all these status quos, but Jeff Johns gets a good, no, I don't care. For this storyline, at least, I'm using Superman and Batman as I want them, and fuck the fact that they're totally different people in their own books, because I'm Jeff Johns, and I'm the best there is at what I do. Jeff Johns is like Wolverine. Spread by Justin Jordan. This is spread number 7. So good. This is a guest art by Liam Cobb. This one fills in the secret origin of the Preacher. Really good, really creepy. There's some feels in there. Superior Iron Man continues to be one of my favorite books. I'm hoping that they will eventually fix Tony, but it's a fun ride watching him not be fixed. It's also a great little twist there that, I don't know who this Tom Taylor is as the writer. Felipe Watanabe, gorgeous art, but Tom Taylor's writing, brilliant concept that the backup memory of Tony is Tony Stark, no matter what you do to him. So, asshole, villainized, superior Tony may have absolutely no morals, but backup 10 years ago memory of Tony Stark. The only difference between him and no morals Tony Stark is original Tony Stark has like 5 morals. So it's not like there's a clear-cut good guy here. And that was something that makes it very different from Superior Spider-Man. Wolverines continues to be okay. It's not a great use of Charles Soule. This book is my hands-down thing that took me by surprise favorite book from Marvel. This is Spider-Man and the X-Men, number 6. This is written by Elliot Kalin. Gorgeous art, beautiful story. This is great. Spider-Man is a teacher. Spider-Man was an angsty teen. Spider-Man is ostracized by he may not be a mutant, but he's a perfect fit to teach this class of like X-Men rejects, and they've molded into a beautiful team. Hellions taking on some leadership qualities. Glob Herman is getting some cojones. There's just some great stuff in here. It's really, really, really good. The end of the Fantastic Four ended better than the entire countdown to ending it. Some of the backups in here were amazing. In fact, all of the backups in here were amazing. There's like a great bonding story between Reed and Valeria. There's a beautiful Tom Grummett, The Thing story in which, talk about revolt and developments. There's a great little bit where writers and artists and people involved with the Fantastic Four throughout time get to pick their favorite covers and explain why. So that's really good. There's just some really, really great stuff in here. All new Captain America. I must have missed one because the guy I thought was dead is back. Not necessarily terribly nice, but what are you going to do? And then they think he's dead again. So really, it's just continuing the Marvel Captain America tradition for the past, like, 6 years of killing Cap, not killing Cap. You know, we killed Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers, you know, we replaced Steve Rogers with Bucky. We brought back Steve Rogers. We killed Bucky. Bucky came back the very next issue. We took the power from Steve Rogers, and now we've got a new Captain America. His Steve Rogers' adopted son from an alternate dimension is Nomad. We killed Nomad. He's back. We killed Nomad. It's just a lot of, it's exhausting, the almost deaths. Silk, it's Catfight. Silk, this is good, not great. A lot of fun. Robbie Thompson is the writer. Stacey Lee's art and Ian Herring's colors are perfect. The writing gets a little catch. Sometimes witty repartee is a bitch. If you're not really a witty repartee person, when you write witty repartee, it says to the reader, I'm trying to write witty repartee.
Failing.
This has some moments that are like that. All in all, good, just not great. Give it some time. It's above, I'd say a 7 out of 10, but there's plenty of room for that 8, 9, and 10 to happen. Bitch Planet number 4, the fake back ads alone push this book over the 11 scale on the 1 to 10. But art and story, this book is clearly a 17 out of 10, and that's only because I feel like a complete sycophant going out and saying it's a 20 out of 10. But it really is so good. This book is great. Princess Leia, more Mark Waid and the Dodson art team. Really, really good. It's gorgeous. R2, once again, is the ultimate hero, and that's really all you need to know is why does R2-D2 not have his own series yet? Nova finds his dad, loses his dad, puts the Earth in danger, saves the Earth, leaves the Earth in danger. Whew. It's tough to be Sam. But it's Jerry Duggan on art, on writing, so it's really good. And I love me some David Baldeon. So, oh yeah. Mayday. This book, it's really weird but really cool, and I just absolutely love the art. So, there's that. Outcast, things get deep and darker. This is Outcast number... We'll never know. Issue number 8. Outcast number 8. Things start to pick up. We get there are people, our demon hunters are hunted themselves, and it's getting risky, but really. Quantum and Woody Must Die is hysterical and ends without an ending, meaning hopefully there will be more Quantum and Woody soon from Valiant. Multiversity. Captain Carrot loses his head, keeps talking, gets his head back. So that's good. I was worried for Captain Planet for a while there. Art-wise, gorgeous. Story-wise, gorgeous. And I don't know if this is going to be a thing within the multiversity stuff, but can I just go ahead and say, look at the last page first. We get one of the multiverse Blue Beetles, so I'm happy. It's a Ted Cord Blue Beetle. But yes, this Operation Justice Incarnate. Yes, please. I would read this as a book. Thank you, please. This art. This. What's this? Is this Rice? Yeah, this is Rice and Morrison. Yeah, I would read this. Rice. I would read the hell out of that. It's really good. Also, odd note, throughout all this convergency stuff, I can't help but notice one thing DC is truly doing right is they've got like 6 versions of Blue Beetle, and they're all Ted Cord versions. Because damn straight. Let there ne'er be a Jaime again.
Drop it.
Off a cliff. Shield number 5. This is good. Apparently, comic book version of Fitz is a little more badass than TV Fitz. Granted, he gets possessed. This is Shield dealing with some serious magic threat as a bad guy at the end is revealed to be, spoiler in 3, 2, 1, the Dread Dormammu.
Oh, fantastic.
No! So that's good. Mark Waid writing at some of his best. The art's by Mike Choi, and it's beautiful. It really is beautiful stuff. Daredevil number 15. Let's talk about Mark Waid's A game. This book is beautiful. This is Waid, Samney, and Wilson. And speaking of Wilson, one might be in this book. I thought he was dead. Yeah, no, he's not. Damn it. So amazing, so well done, so twisty, turny, that even when you start to see where this is going, you realize you should have seen it going, should have seen it coming so much further. And oh my God, this, the Shroud is a dick and has totally upended Daredevil's life and everybody around him. Big Trouble in Little China, number 10. This is 10 issues of pure awesome. Hellbreak, number 2. Cullen Bunn likes to write, and he likes to write books with the word hell in them. But Hellbreak, number 2, continues to have exorcists going into hell to get, they're not just exercising, they're actually going to hell to get your soul back. This is so good, and leaves me knowing that issue 3 is going to be so much better. Helheim, there's lots of boobies. Some aren't such pretty boobies, but there's lots of boobies. Helheim number 5 was great. If you really need to watch me review a Cullen Bunn book, then you haven't seen anything, because you would then know that all Cullen Bunn books are freaking awesome and you should be reading them. Castaways number 2 is okay. I read a lot of stuff. I was exhausted by the time I got to this. I think I'm gonna be dropping Castaways, but it's a cool concept, so check it out and decide for yourself. Don't let me tell you. And I forgot, I thought this was like a mat at the end. Boom, this is free this week. This is the Avengers magazine. Gives you facts about the comic book equivalent of everybody in the movies. All sorts of great stuff. It's like a who's who in the Avengers universe with some great little movie bits and comic bits and all sorts of just really cool little fun facts and stuff. Awesome and free before Free Comic Book Day. Whew. All right, I miss you already.